The college basketball experience national championship reaction show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Shady Rays. Yes, go to shadyrays.com. Use the promo code SGPN for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. We're also brought to you by the Golf Gambling Podcast tailor-made Stealth 2 driver giveaway. Yes, head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/driver to enter today before the big drawing on April 8th. We're also brought to you by Baseball Money is Fake. Yes, our fantasy baseball podcast. Join Blake and Ryan 3 times a week and get all the player breakdowns and statistical data that you will need to dominate. So check them out. And remember, as always, to let it ride.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Yes, yes, yes. Welcome. Welcome to the college basketball experience national championship reaction show. There's no more games. There's no more games. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, well, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit. Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit. Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit. Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Well, I'm sorry. I just had to do that for every time I faded the UConn Huskies in the big dance. Shout out to the UConn Huskies for getting it done. And I'll give a special shout out to, all the people in the chat that rode UConn. Yeah. Shout out to David. David, longtime listener, big fan. I'm a big fan of David. How about that? Let's reverse it here. All right, let's go. You guys were awesome. You guys were awesome. And look, this is proof that if I knew really 100% of what the fuck I was talking about, I wouldn't be talking to you. Shout out to the UConn Huskies as they get it done. And we're going to break it all down. We're going to talk about the future for both programs. Great basketball season. 5 championships in 25 years. We're going to talk all about it. I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin, host of the Ryan and Rush Show, host of the NFL Gambling Podcast. Give it up for Ryan McIntyre. How you doing, brother?
What is going on, man? The season is over, and hey, let's start looking ahead to next year. But first, congrats to UConn. 5 championships in 25 years. They are a blue blood. I think we ended that discussion.
Oh, I would have called them a blue blood before that, but
same.
I mean, I did on this very show. It's like, what do you mean? People complain it's not a blue blood. UConn's a fucking blue blood. I am joined also by the man behind the man behind the man. I don't fucking know what his introduction is, but he hosts the college baseball experience. He's behind the scenes, always pressing buttons like a fucking wizard over there, you know. Give it up for Noah Beanick. How you doing, Noah?
How's it going, fellas? Thanks for having me on the show again. I'll open it up with this. Shout out to Andrew Hurley, son of Dan Hurley. From one coach's kid to another. That guy, he got to play in all 6 games, and he dribbled it out to the final whistle. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, I mean, sure. I think that's cool. Part of a national championship winning team. You'll have that forever. Yeah. You'll be meeting up with that same team the rest of your life. Once every couple of years, talking about the good old days. I mean, shout out to, let's talk about 5 national championships in 25 years. No. Let's talk about the game first. Okay. I don't want to make any excuses. UConn was clearly the better team. I thought San Diego State, I know that UConn actually ended up turning the ball over more on the final stat sheet, but I think the shocking thing to me in the first half was the way San Diego State turned the ball over. I know they're not a good offensive shooting team, but they have been better at protecting the ball than UConn this year, and they were throwing the ball everywhere. That stood out to me. You can't get down 16. Look, I get it. You kept coming back game after game after game, and I was right on this that I thought you had to keep it between 8 and 10. You get it up to 16. It's too much work for not a good offensive team. Also, you see this graphic here, and they're talking about the thumbnail. Actually, you know what? Flag on the play. Let's talk about this. Cam Kerr. Shout out to our guy Cam Kerr who does the graphics. I believe he ruined my bet. Oh, hear me out here, folks. Hear me out here. He played. So I asked for this graphic. I said, dude, I need a national championship graphic. Right? I was assuming he was going to build me two. And he goes, here's San Diego State because they're winning this fucking thing. Right? He did the same with TCU in football. Right?
He did the same with Texas A&M in the SEC championship game too with me.
And the Big 12 championship, he put TCU, which they lost to Kansas State, and the Army Navy game. So from the start, we were fucked. When I saw that, when I woke up this morning and when I saw the graphic, I don't know, this afternoon, I was like, fuck. And then I saw Barkley go on San Diego State. And I'm like, oh, we're completely fucked. We are completely fucked.
I respected it because I feel like he picked UConn on Saturday and he only went San Diego State just to be the contrarian guy. He goes, hey, let me see if I can be the one guy pound my chest on San Diego State. I respected it.
It's the network. They told him to fall on the sword.
Somebody had to pick
him. Yeah, they did.
Oh man, but look, okay. So here's my only complaint with the game, and like I said, I think UConn would have won this game probably, no matter what, right? But San Diego, the second half was so tightly called. Oh, yeah. It was impossible for San Diego State, in my opinion. The way that San Diego State plays basketball, if the second half was called that way in the Charleston game, Charleston would have beat San Diego State in the first round because they're too physical of a team. And if you're going to call it that light, you're fucked. Even though they cut it to 5 and I know, shout out to Lavelle Moten, the North Carolina Central head coach. Cause I know he was tweeting out that the Hawkins shot was the biggest shot of the game. And it was, but still they were already in the penalty by that point. And I'm not making an excuse. UConn was the better fucking team in every phase of the game, pretty much. But I thought if you're going to call it like that, San Diego State doesn't really have a chance. Now they did show some heart, cutting it to 5. Hawkins made the 3. They also had a timeout with the guy at the free throw line. It was an 8-point game. And I'm thinking, hey, if it was a 1-and-1 for him, if he makes 2, cuts it to 6, maybe we have something, but shout out to UConn for getting it done. They were the better team. They're clearly the more talented team. I mean, San Diego State, well, have you guys talk about it now before I dive into the future of both these programs. Mac, what'd you make of the game?
Yeah, UConn definitely deserved to win the game. They were the better team. They're up 16, but from an actual spread standpoint, I kind of feel like we got a little jobbed here. I mean, UConn's in the double bonus with 14 minutes left in the second half. Are you shitting me? After the way that they let them play in the first half. Now, if they had called it tight in the first half and then they call it tight in the second half, then I'd be like, all right. But you can't come out and call it tight in the second half. And when San Diego State's making their run, 2 calls 30 feet from the basket on non.
And dude, I know Nance is retiring, but to me, that whole broadcasting team, how are you not questioning that? We didn't see replays of that. I don't even know. Like, I thought the calls were light based on the call, but please show us a fucking replay so we can like in this day and age where we see every fucking replay. How are these pivotal plays? Are we not able to see the replay? I don't understand. You know what I mean? Like that call was tough, man. I think that was on who was that on? That was on that put Hawkins on right?
It was on Trammell got called for one and Butler got called for one. It was come on, man. You're calling it 30 feet from the basket, and I know people in the chat are like, "Oh, they were grabbing them all game." UConn was fouling the shit out of them too. Now, I mean, and then they were not calling anything at the rim on Sonogo. The one time Butler went up for a layup, and Sonogo slides up under him, takes a contact, should have been an and-one, no call because he's Sonogo. I mean, San Diego State got a terrible whistle in the second half. UConn deserved to win the game, but
yes.
they robbed us of a good finish with that.
Both can be accurate. Both can be accurate. Now, like I said, I think UConn probably wins the game no matter what, but it should have been a closer game, I thought, down the stretch. But also San Diego State got down 16 points. I thought, when I was talking about the game, I thought San Diego State was going to do their best because we know this is the national championship. So I was like, they're going to keep it within 8. I think they're going to be. Remember, I took UConn first half. I think it was going to be like 8, 10, somewhere in that range. 16, you can't. And it got back up to 15 in the second half. So I just think that's tough. But hey, shout out to UConn. Their team has a lot of good players, and I think some of those threes were so cutthroat. Obviously the Hawkins one when the league got cut to 5, but also a couple that happened when San Diego State hit a big 3. The very next possession, UConn hit a 3, and that happened twice, and it kind of ruined the momentum. So. Daquan, you're gonna miss the live chat. We're still gonna be here talking college football, talking college basketball, talking college baseball. We are still gonna be here. Look, this is my job. This is my life, guys. All right, I talk fucking college sports. All right, we'll be here.
We gotta talk Eddie Lampkin to Colorado here coming up.
Yeah, we gotta talk about Tristan Newton being a sandbagging son of a bitch and leaving the greatest institution in the history of this planet to go get a cheap national championship. All right.
I'll tell you what, he was damn good. This last couple months.
Automatic from the free throw line too.
Yeah. Like when UConn was going through their wall, he was playing like crap. But when he started playing more consistently, he had a triple double that one game. I'm drawing a blank. We've recapped so many games over the last 4 months that I don't know what game it was. He had a triple double, and I'm like, you know what? If he plays like that, I don't know who could beat him. I mean, and he literally played like that the whole March Madness. He was terrific this last month and a half.
The two halves today were basically the halves of the season for UConn. Today he had 4 turnovers in the first 5 minutes of the game and 1 throughout the rest of it. You look at the season, and honestly, I was really high on UConn in the preseason. They were the best team in November. They were the best team in December. They hit a rut in January, and they finished as the best team in March and the best team in April. So it pretty much resembles how Newton played throughout the year.
True. That's a fair point. That is a very fair point. 5 national championships in 25 years. And yet I feel like if I was to stop Joe Schmo on the street, if I went to a local sports bar, well, not here in California because they're probably watching like fucking Man United or some shit, but you know what I mean? Somewhere. And I was to ask them, who's the best college basketball program in the past 25 years? I guarantee you Kansas, Kentucky, Duke, and North Carolina would all come before UConn.
UCLA too.
Yeah. And maybe even Michigan State, some might even say, or Arizona or something, but UConn, best by far, the best. Now there's no arguing.
The only team that's even close is your brother's team, Duke, because they got 5 in the last 30 years. If you extended a 91 and 92, they're the only team that has 5 championships with UConn over the last 30 years.
Yeah. There was a good stat about UConn too. Like only 3 teams in the NCAA tournament seeded 3rd or worse in the last 15 years have won a national championship. It was UConn in 2011 as a 3 seed, UConn in 2014 as a 7 seed, and UConn this year as a 4 seed.
Hang on, we're going to talk more. I never remember my times. Folks, I want to tell you that the college basketball experience is brought to you by Shady Rays. Yes. Look, kick off the new year with some new gear that's built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered from the sun to the slopes with premium polarized shades, customizable snow goggles, and much, much more. Shady Rays is an independent sunglass company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair that we've ever worn. Durable frames, extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. That's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. Look, if you lose a pair, look, maybe you're in fucking Houston, just absolutely, you're a big UConn fan. You're out there tonight. You're dancing around. You know, you brought the sunglasses because it was daytime when you went into that filthy stadium. And then all of a sudden, you're jumping up and down at midcourt and your fucking glasses fall down. You don't even care because UConn just won their 5th natty, but you're dancing. You're just stepping on them. Everyone's stepping on them as they're jumping up and down. Well, no problem. Go back when you get back home. You file up. You go to Shady Rays. You say, "Look, sunglasses didn't handle the Final Four, the national championship, and they're gonna send you a new one." Boom, just like that. No questions asked. They're not even. Yeah, that's the best part about it. They're not gonna send us a photo. No, they're just going to send you a new one. Boom. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after your purchase. With Shady Rays, you could look good and you can feel good. To date, they have donated over 20 million meals to fight hunger. With Feeding America. Gotta love that. Their heart's in the right place, and that's all that matters. If you don't love them, exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays. Their team always has your back. And right now, exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving you the best deal of the new year. Go to shadyrays.com, use the promo code SGPN for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Yep. We're back. And look, I see some fucking idiots in the chat here that said, you guys are fucking idiots. How many times do I have to explain? Yes, I will own that I'm an idiot. I've been saying that since day one on this fucking show.
We've got that sound bite we play pretty much every show at the beginning of it.
It's absolutely hilarious, people. Like, I don't if we picked every game correctly,
the show wouldn't exist.
Yes, I would never talk to you. I would have no desire to talk to you. You realize that? I would have no desire to talk to you, right? But we're not going to bullshit you. I really believe that San Diego State was able to win this game today. I really thought they had a good matchup, right? I really believe that. You can't go 12 minutes. Well, I guess you can in other games, but against UConn, you can't go 12 minutes without scoring. And I feel like that was the most pivotal point of the game, that and the Hawkins 3. But yeah, so anyway, if you're in the chat saying you're idiots, fuck you. And yeah, I don't care. You think I'm going to lose any sleep if you don't listen to this fucking show? Let's be honest. Do you think? All right. Let's talk about the future of these teams, because I was looking at this today and I'm like, Sonogo's only a junior. We saw Toshibe get paid to come back. I don't think Sonogo would be a first round draft pick. Am I crazy?
By the way, shout out to him. Most outstanding player during Ramadan.
That is incredible.
That is very underrated.
Yes. And dude, in the first half specifically, he got the ball in the post like 3 or 4 times. He made the bucket on like perfect defense. I was me and Stacking the Money Green were talking, and I was like, dude, you can't defend that any better. You cannot defend that any better. And he made it. Great fucking player, man.
I gotta give Hurley some credit too. Some of the sets he runs to get Sonogo angles in position.
I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing today.
As a basketball mind, I'm like, that's some good shit he's running to get that post entry where he runs it to Jackson, and then I've never seen anybody ball screen
clinging too.
Yes, yeah. And it's like that's some creative shit. So yeah, shout out to Dan Hurley. I mean,
especially in this game, I felt like they were very, very good at doing that.
Yep. And I will say this too. Somebody mentioned this in the chat. This is the 3rd UConn coach that's won a national championship too. That's what's unique about UConn. It's not just Mike Krzyzewski at Duke and that big runner, Roy Williams, I guess Roy Williams and Dean Smith, but I mean, they've had multiple coaches now: Dan Hurley, Kevin Ollie, and Jim Calhoun.
Yeah, I mean, the Kevin Ollie thing, I know it ended sour, and I think he sued the
Still won an
university
natty,
or something. Yeah, but he won that was one of the craziest runs ever, because I feel like they weren't even going to make the tournament. They didn't have that full court shot against Cincinnati in the AAC tournament or whatever. I mean, look, I look at this team. So if Sanogo comes back, which I think he should, because I'm not saying this because I love college basketball. If anything, I would like to see a different champion, but I think it'd probably be. Do you think he'd be a first round NBA draft pick? I don't think he would. Would you?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
The NBA, this is what's so weird, like with the way the NBA has transformed into these 5-man just got to be so wiry. They got to be just rim protectors and rim runners like deer. This old school basketball that we've grown up and loved, it doesn't exist in the NBA anymore. And that's what's cool about this UConn team. The postman in college basketball is alive and well, baby.
It is, and I love it. I'm here for it. So look, Sanogo can. I bet you. Like I'm saying this, if I was his best friend or his brother, I would say, dude, check your options. You know, you can have an agent now, but pretty sure you can come back for like $1 million. I'm pretty sure UConn's got money. I'm sure they can tie this into a business. New York City's right fucking there. Get yourself paid. All right. If there's not, sure, go play pro ball wherever. I'm sure you can play pro ball. Maybe you don't get drafted in the NBA. Maybe you're playing ball in fucking France. I have no idea, but I would consider my options, and especially the fact that you would have a chance to repeat as a national champion, which doesn't happen very often in the sport. So that would be also a motivating factor, but obviously the money. But look, we know Jordan Hawkins is going to be in the NBA. He's gone, right?
Ray Allen, Rip Hamilton, Jordan Hawkins. He's the next guy. Yeah. He's playing in the NBA.
Yeah.
He translates.
Dude, some of those shots, just like, God, he's smooth. He's just
I thought I was watching
smooth.
Ray Allen and Rip Hamilton. I was like, God damn.
Tristan Newton, ECU guy. Is I look, we don't want you back in Greenville. All right. We don't, like, if you're considering, maybe you got a girlfriend, if you're considering hitting the portal, we don't want you in Greenville. Just so you know, you take your fucking ring, all right, and have fun. But no, he should come back too, because look, he has the COVID eligibility. So he's played 4 years, but if he uses the COVID year, he can come back, which I think he would, right, and probably can get some coin NIL wise. Then you have Caravan. He's a freshman. He will be back. You got Klingon, he's a freshman. He will be back. Andre Jackson is a junior, and even with that, he hasn't used his COVID eligibility. In a way, he's only a sophomore. Then you have Calcaterra. Okay, he is your one guy gone. So Calcaterra and Hawkins are gone, but Aline, the Virginia Tech transfer, he should be back if he uses his COVID eligibility, which I would. Once again, maybe you can get some coin. Daria, whatever, from the other Virginia Tech /A&M transfer, he's going to be back. This team is going to be loaded again next year. Guys, should we just mention that they're going to be preseason number 1, or if Sanogo's back, they're preseason number 1, right? I mean, I can't imagine a world where they're not. Talk to me on this one, Mac.
I think Sanogo might leave. I don't think he should, but he may get somebody in his head saying your stock will never be this high. I got a mock draft pulled up right now. It says late second round, but man, if I'm him, I'd come back and I could be the national player of the year once again and have a chance, like you said, to be the same or the first team to repeat since the Florida Gators in 06 and 07. I definitely think he should come back, but you never know with these kids. I actually think Tristan Newton, not this year, but the next year, could play in the NBA one day.
I think so too.
He's got the size. Get his hand.
Had he stayed at East Carolina and wasn't just trying to grab a championship, you know what I mean, and go to the top team, like I thought he could develop and make the NBA. But now, you know, he's just, you know, he's along for the ride.
The NBA at ECU.
Hey, fuck you. Yeah, I mean, I think Noah. What do you think? UConn preseason number 1 next year, pending Sanogo returns.
I don't really have much else to add to the conversation. I haven't really kept up with the whole recruiting, and who knows what the transfer portal is going to add. So I think you guys covered it pretty well. I've just been scrolling through social media, any clips or anything I've been tweeting out from TCE. So,
okay.
I think the two clear NBA guys are Hawkins and Jackson. Jackson's a freak athletically.
Yeah.
He definitely translated the next level.
Jackson
as
might
that
not be a
3D guy that can
shooter.
defend, but he defends.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like they're going to be loaded again next year, especially like Sanogo. Am I wrong? I know the chat is saying he's going pro. Like in what? China? I don't think he's going to be a first round NBA draft pick, but you never know. The NBA is weird because the second round, you know, I grew up a Wash Up Bullets fan where they would just draft guys to basically please the fan base. They knew they had no shot to play in the NBA. They're like, no, yeah, we're going to do a draft where we take Muggsy Bogues and Manute Bol. You know what I mean? We'll get the shortest guy, the biggest guy. It'll be like the fucking circus when you come to the USA Arena, right? So maybe they go for a name that can get fans excited. I just don't know that his game fits the NBA. I think I don't think
definitely doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be playing in the NBA. So, and David's saying UConn's got a top 5 class coming in. Watch out, they're back.
I gotta look who's coming in with the freshman class, because at this point you don't even look at the freshmen almost now. You just want to say who are they getting in the portal, because the portal is such a shit show. I mean, we got guys that were all league guys that are in the portal right now.
It's such a shit show, but look at what the national champion just did. They grabbed their point guard out of the portal, and all 4 teams in the Final Four were all experienced and used the portal at least somewhat to get us started.
Well, yeah, I mean, even Aline and Daria, both 3 guys from the portal that play substantial minutes here.
Were there any like big freshman recruit in the Final Four this year? Off the top of my head,
Klingon.
Yeah, I was about to say like that because
Klingon was not the only one.
Carabin was also a freshman. Yeah,
he redshirted. Klingon did, but yeah, no, I mean not that it's a shit show to battle. I mean, I could argue that it's some of these guys should stay, but I mean, it's a shit show because it's this guy's going in the portal 15 minutes later, and next guy's going in the portal. It's like you can't even keep up with half these names.
Yeah. All right, look, we're going to talk about the Aztecs here in a second, but I want to tell you that the college basketball experience is brought to you by Driver Giveaway. Yes, we're brought to you by the Golf Gambling Podcast and their tailor-made driver contest. The contest is completely free to enter, and you have a chance to win an awesome tailor-made driver. So what are you doing, folks? The drawing will take place Sunday, April 8th. So make sure to get in by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/driver. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/driver. I want to talk about the Aztecs because, okay, we know they lost. They're going to lose a ton of players here, but they've kind of built this culture over like the past 15 years, and you did this the hard way, in my opinion, right? And you got to the national championship, you lost. Okay. But this is a fucking moment where I do believe I made this same statement on this show. By the time football season kicks off, I fully anticipate. So when that first game hits week 0 in wherever, Dublin, fucking Ireland, when Notre Dame and Navy play, I expect San Diego State to have been announced to go to either the Big 12 or the Pac-12. Right? I would be shocked, honestly, if that was not the case, because if not, then the Pac-12 is just fucking stupid. But I just think that's coming. So what can you do now? San Diego State, Darian Trammell can use the COVID eligibility, so he could be back. Bradley's gone. Lamont Butler is back. Lede is, I think he's gone. Yeah, no, I think he can use the COVID eligibility too, which is fucking fascinating.
He's at Ohio State and TCU.
He can. I think he can use the COVID eligibility. I have to double check because he's been all around the world. But Micah Parrish is back, right, or should be back unless he hits the portal. Kashad Johnson is a guy that can use, once again, he can use the COVID eligibility and come back, right? Mensa, I believe, is gone. Yes, Mensa's gone. I'm fairly certain Mensa's gone. What's that red shirt number? Because in 19, Mensa only played in 13 games. What is that number? Like I know in football they have a number of games where you can play.
I want to say it's like 8 games or less.
Okay, so he's gone. Mensa's gone. Then you have Sieko, who is gone. I believe yes, Sieko's gone. Arop from Nebraska. This kid can still. No, he's gone too. So they're going to have some turnover. I know. I just read an article about they're going to attack the portal pretty like Dutcher during this trip in Houston has been actually, engaging with players potentially for the portal, but they got a cap. So you went the hard way. You got there. This program could be so fucking big time if they continue to be like get the type of players they get, but also I feel like did this platform get them some bigger top name guys? And I think that's the big question, whether it's portal or whether it's recruiting. Hopefully, I actually think you kind of want it to be portal if you're San Diego State, but will it get them that opportunity? Obviously, if a P5 invite comes or whatever they want to P6 in college basketball because the Big East, I believe that we're just getting started with San Diego State. Then I really believe that. I mean, assuming that Dutcher stays. I know he's a little long in the tooth, but what do you make of that, Mac? What do you make of the future of the Aztecs?
So we all loved Houston and Kelvin Sampson. I feel like we watched Houston and Kelvin Sampson these last couple of weeks, but in San Diego State's uniform with these tough guys. They kind of have that 6'4" to 6'7" height, and they just switch a bunch of stuff, and they got older guys. I think it's important that they stay true to what they were. Don't try and recruit the highly touted guys because that's not what makes San Diego State and the Houstons go. I think that's what kind of hurt Houston a little bit. They had a little bit of entitlement with some of those younger guys, and it feels like they didn't have the same chip on their shoulder. I think they'll take a slight step back next year, but I still think they're going to win, 22, 24 games. I mean, they're not going to go 30-2 or 32-6, but I still think this is a team that gets to the tournament and has a chance to get to the second weekend. Yeah,
and they can afford regression next year because they wouldn't be if they got the P5 invite. It wouldn't be for this upcoming season. It would be the following year probably, which then would make it super compelling. But I still think they could win the Mountain West. I think they'll be right there in the mix. Obviously, the Mountain West. And where does it stand? Where do you stand on the Mountain West now? Did they validify themselves by? I'm sorry. Did they validate themselves? I'm making up words over here. I feel like George W. We didn't send the necessary recruitments into Iran, and that's why we are delayed. Sorry.
I think it validates the top quality, like the top tier teams in the Mountain West for sure. But I think everybody kind of knew that San Diego State was the cream of the crop in that conference. You'd like to see it from some other team in there too to
New
really
Mexico.
validate. But I mean, they cracked the ice. They're there now. I think they should be in the conversation. Interesting from Brian Dutcher. He just hit the mic in the press conference. He goes, you don't need to have $1 million in NIL, and you don't have to get every player in the portal to be successful. You just have to have kids who are about the right things that want to be beyond anything else. So I thought that was pretty cool from him saying that. And then
Amen.
Also another quote that was pulled from the interview here was he was asked about the parity in college basketball, and he goes, Florida Atlantic was way better in person than what we thought they were on tape. They're bringing everyone back too. I'll be surprised if they lose a game next year.
Yeah, I actually think I think San Diego State will be an NCAA tournament team next year, but I don't think they'll be deep. I expect Florida Atlantic to run deep, assuming they bring everybody back.
I think FAU could do what Butler did. Where Butler, what was it, 2010 and 2011, they got to the national spotlight, then they brought most of their guys back and ran it right back.
I see the chat is being hilarious right now. Trevor's in there saying, "What's happening in the chat? Who are these fucking losers?" I'm dabbling in and out, man. So I'm not paying attention. So
we've had a couple of new names jump in, and they're having some fun in there. I timed out one. I think the same guy's back under a different username now.
It's chippy. I like it. I like it.
A lot of
Let's
effort,
go.
pal.
Yeah, it is.
Look, and we're not the type, like, you can tell me to go fuck myself, and look, we appreciate you coming back, but yeah, just what someone says, what is this show? Well, the show's I don't know, what is this show, Mac? We're part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. We drink alcohol and handicap college basketball and love college basketball, or are very passionate about college basketball. So it's not just a handicapping show, but it's just a show that's kind of everything. So it's like
it's got a little bit of everything. It's like Seinfeld, baby.
Yeah, it's like all 7 police academies in one. All right.
Yeah.
Or was there eight police academies? I don't fucking remember. All right. Point is, look, I don't know what the fuck. I'm not sitting here giving a lecture on what is the college basketball experience, but we're a couple of fucking idiots that love college basketball. Subscribe, tell a friend. All right.
I will say I tracked all our double locks this year, and we hit on a 63% clip. So there's that.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Well, yeah. I mean, come on. I feel like if anyone that knows college hoops will know that we know what the fuck we're talking about. I mean, not only did Moneyline Mac work for fucking Hall of Fame coaches, right? But Noah, myself, NC Nick, Patty C, we watch a shit ton of college basketball. I would say more than any podcast I've listened to. You know what I mean? So, or at least put us up there for the most.
I may have cut film for a living. I may have watched more games this year than I ever have, and that's saying something. When you're getting paid to watch basketball, I think I may have watched more this year with this show than I ever have. I mean, we watch a shitload of college basketball.
Yeah, exactly. So,
new stat just surfaced that I found. UConn went 17-0 against non-Big East opponents on the season. All 17 wins were by double digits.
That's wild. That's wild.
We need to get them to the Big 12.
That is insane.
Yeah, that is why get them to the Big 12. The Big East is thriving, buddy. I'm glad the Big East is thriving.
Basketball this year.
My heart is broken. My heart was broken when there was a time where the Big East almost folded.
I know.
There was a time where it was like, no. I'm glad to see the Big East thriving. Start your UConn though. Please spend this money on your football program. All right,
Pitino.
Spend this money on your Yeah, you got Rick Pitino coming back. You got Georgetown now, and you know what? I'm starting to think Kim English is going to be all right at Providence. He retained everybody. I thought everyone was going to hit the portal. I think that team might be pretty good next year. We'll see if he's gonna. I still have to see it from coaching wise on the hardwood, but I think there's optimism, in Rhode Island there. What else should we talk about, guys?
Hey, Dustin, we did win the Big East one year, 2010, Final Four. Let's go.
There we go.
Well, we've won the Big East. I love the Big East. I love the Big East. It's at the Garden. It's a great league. I'm glad that they did not fold and they got a little niche now with all the Catholic schools and then UConn.
Yeah. Douglas, what are you talking about? We don't need UConn football. David, I need you to talk to Douglas because David's a UConn fan and we want the football team. Jim Mora Jr. is a friend of ours. He's been on our show. So we want the football team to continue to thrive. Nice bowl game in year one. Subscribe to the college football experience. Tyler says, where's Benedict Dantold been? That's a good question. Maybe he went down to Mexico or something.
Maybe he's in Houston with Avetta.
That's true. He could be completely shit hammered in Houston, which is pretty much close enough to Mexico.
Yeah, and shout out Justin Decker. Oh, that's
he's there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Look, Justin Decker there. My guy Tommy Gimler. Shout out to my guy Tommy Gimler, comedian. He sent me this text. This is a great text. I'm going to read this one for you. He goes, dude, I had a chance to interview Bill Walton earlier, and that sick fuck wouldn't shut up. I think I I think I maybe got 12 words out of the guy. Great guy though. Shout out to my guy Tommy Gimmler. But yeah, okay. What else do we got to talk about here, man? The season's over. We're bummed, but we're gonna talk about the portal. Is just, I mean, LJ Cryer's in the portal now. I mean, did you see all? I mean, how many people are in this fucking portal? I feel like there's so many good players this year.
Hunter Dickinson.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
I
so
know
many.
We said that last
Max
night.
Max Asmus is in the portal. You want to talk about,
yeah.
dude? Watch him go to San Diego State. He'll be Tramel part 2.
There's
you know
no
what I mean?
way,
Like,
but if he did, that adds a whole nother element to their scoring, and that makes him really dangerous.
let's talk about where he will go. I mean, look, he's undersized, but I imagine there'll be some big time programs that will take a shot at him. I imagine the fact he's this good. I think you know, he'll pretty much have his own pick, right? It's pretty much whoever get paid, Max. Even though, dude, Max Asmus could play. He could play all over, man. He might even have a. He might even be able to play in the NBA. Fucking Earl Boykin can do it. The portal's crazy. We're gonna be hitting you with episodes there. We got questions, Noah? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I've been saving some questions that we can hit on from the chat. The first one was UConn's team this year better than Kansas's team last year?
I think so.
Man, that's a good question.
I know, it's a great question.
Probably. I don't think they were better than Baylor 2 years ago, but I think they were better than Kansas last year.
Yeah, I mean,
the way Baylor was playing at the end of the year was stupid. I mean, they ran Gonzaga
they
out of the
drilled
gym.
Gonzaga. Yeah,
with those 3 guards and Vital.
that was actually
and
the biggest lopsided tournament.
Yeah,
I saw Portnoy say this is the worst NCAA tournament or championship game. That was early on when UConn was up 16, but still, no fucking way. There's a lot I can name. There's a lot. I mean, I remember when UNLV beat Duke by like 35 in the fucking national championship.
Villanova just in 2018 drilled everybody through the tournament. They only had one test the entire time against West Virginia in the Sweet 16. That was the only time they trailed the whole tournament.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty. UConn's team's definitely up there, though, man. This team.
Oh yeah, they dominated.
What else? Greg K. Shout out to Greg Kalish, man. That's my guy. FAU opened up at plus 500 next year.
5,000.
5,000. 5,000. Wow, plus 5,000. 500 to 1. I can't read. Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's that crazy of a play. I don't think it's that crazy of a play. We got to see. I mean, I think Duke getting some of those guys back that they got. So what? Who went pro? I think I have a list here. Hang on. Give me a second. I have a list here.
The problem is you don't know because they go, I'm declaring for the draft while maintaining my eligibility and entering the transfer portal, and I can come back. So it's A, B, C, or D. I feel like we're playing fucking Jeopardy over here. I mean, it's college basketball in 2023.
That is true. That is very true. It's hard to keep track of who's coming back and with considering the NBA draft's not until like late June.
Oh, it's stupid. Yeah.
So let me Mark Mitchell, I know said he was coming back, correct? Or is he going in the NBA draft too? I thought Duke's got some guys that I thought was
quote
Proctor's
from Tristan
back.
Newton in the press conference. The vision I had when I came here was to win a national championship. I'm very blessed and thankful for the guys around me.
He's got jokes, you know, he's got fucking jokes over there. So yeah, Mark Mitchell, Tyrese Proctor also came back to Duke. Now I don't know if they're still testing the NBA waters, but you have a lot of guys. Obviously, Kelly LePepe, the greatest basketball player on the planet. He's coming back to Loyola Marymount. Asmus is coming back to college. New Mexico got Jalen House, Jamal Mashburn Jr. To come back. I think those are huge. And Donovan Dent. RJ Davis is back. I mean, Armando Bacot. I don't know if that. I mean, they went to the championship 2 years ago. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Drew Pember.
Hopefully, San Diego State does better than Carolina did this year.
I think they will.
I think they will too.
Jameer Young coming back to Maryland. I like that news.
That's huge.
Gibson Jimerson's coming back to St. Louis. Justin Moore coming back to Nova. I'm excited to see how Neptune does in year 2 with a healthier team. Blackshear's coming back to Nevada. We can go on and on and on. What's another question, Noah?
All right. So Didn't mention it, but that last one, the UConn better than Kansas question, was from Daquan. Nick Famelot goes, does Brian Dutcher stay with San Diego State?
Well, I think it's too late. Everyone's hired everybody. So there's a benefit to going to the national championship.
Yeah.
Everyone would. There's, dude. What jobs are left? I think I actually have this list here too.
Do you know
It's
how
While
old
you
he
look
is?
that up, I
Utah
think he's,
State.
while you look it up, I think he's just too emotionally tied into the program that him and Steve Fisher built. So I think he's there for good, and especially if they go to a power program or a power conference, why would they want to leave?
Hey,
Yeah.
guess his age.
I thought he was like
52.
60.
He's 63 already, and he's gonna
Yeah.
be 64 and at the start of
Oh.
next year. So it's
You're
like
that age. You're in San Diego. You're the fucking king. Are you kidding
Yeah.
me? That's like one of the. That's one of the cities. Like, if I had to like list in America like cities to retire in, where it's just like it's slow paced enough. Give me San Diego as one of my tops. Yeah. So okay. Next question.
So now we've got. Will anybody be able to stop East Carolina this year?
Oh,
FAU.
From
Well.
Tuscaloosa.
Michael, may the Schwartz be with you. The Schwartz is with us right now, and we are certainly happy for the future of the East Carolina program. Like I was telling these guys before we went live, in fact, we lost Tristan Newton and a couple other guys from a year ago. I feel like we had a great first year. I'm more optimistic about ECU's basketball than I've been since in like fucking 15, 20 years. Probably even longer. So there's that. And yeah, I feel like Javon Small, our leading scorer. Now I think he hit the portal though.
Yeah. And my question for you, I'll propose a question. Do you think Schwartz gets him to the dance in year 2? Because I think they're right there. I think that they're an NIT NCAA tournament team with Houston leaving the league, so they don't have to play Houston. I know FAU, UAB, North Texas, although McCaslin's out. I think ECU could be a 20-win team next year.
The problem is FAU is going to run between FAU and Memphis.
Memphis, yeah.
And then Paul Mills going to Wichita.
I forgot about Wichita. Yeah.
I feel like Ron Hunter's building Tulane. I feel like we're probably a tier back from that, but we'll see. You know, there's talk that we could get some guys in the portal. I've seen, I've been following some of the guys they're trying to get in the portal. We'll see, but I would say like, I think we can have a winning record. Yeah. I expect us to have a winning record next year. Now we also have Abdul Rahim, who I think is bringing a couple guys from Kennesaw to South Florida. SMU should be better in Lanier's year 2. A lot better, I think. Samuel Williamson's coming back, I think, for them.
No Cincinnati. They're also out.
Yeah, but the teams that came in now, Rice had a bunch of players transfer out, so I think we'll have a leg up on Rice. We'll have a leg up on who the fuck else is in this conference now? Charlotte. Charlotte's whole team transferred. Yeah, Charlotte's whole team transferred. We should have a leg up on Charlotte, Rice. Temple did a weird hire. I feel like we could.
They're a weird program.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to be on that Tulane level, but Tulane I would give an advantage to because I think Ron Hunter's in like year 4 now, maybe even year 5. Whereas as may the Schwartz be with you is year 2. Tyler Perry, that's another one that hit the portal from North Texas. I'm telling you, the portal is. I have a list here. I've been trying to keep track of this. It's too big. All right. There's like 1,400 people in the portal, but I mean, there's a lot of very good basketball players. It's not like the portal 20 years ago. Caleb Mills is in the portal, former AAC guy, player of the year at Houston, and he transferred to Florida State. Didn't work out at Florida State. Ace Baldwin, Tremont Mark. I mean, you can go on and on and on about how many great players.
Cryer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's so many good players in the portal. That, we could do 5 hours. I could do 5 hours on the good players in the portal. Either way, what any other questions before?
Yeah, they've built up. We've got. So, what is in the college basketball experience school supplies list for next season? That one's just a fun one.
Oh, I like this.
That's a good question.
I know.
Shout out to Nick. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the school supplies.
What whiskey are you filling up the?
I was about to say. Okay. Well, I mean, we take samples. Take from our fans out there, hopefully in Kentucky. Hey, Louisville and Kentucky fans, please, we'll take samples. Hilltopper fans, we'll take samples. Well, wherever really, but yeah, no vodka because we got banned in Russia, so no vodka will be a part of this journey, unless it's Tito's, which is from Austin, even though it's not really from Austin, right? Don't they? They say they make it in Austin, but it's not in Austin. It's like fucking. It's like what's the beer? What's the beer in Australia that's really made in Canada? I fucking forget all this stuff. But Foster's. There you go. Everyone thinks Foster's is Australia. It's made in Canada. It's all confusing these days. But yeah, school supplies, definitely nose beers, definitely. But the real nose beers. I'm not talking cocaine, even though I am going to South America for a month on a mission. So no, not a religious mission. On a mission to have a good time.
Yeah, you guys are stuck with me that month.
Yeah. We're gonna fire away. You're gonna have Mac just talking. You're gonna be so sick of Big 12 basketball. He's gonna be like, let's preview the Atlantic 10, and he's gonna be like, okay, St. Joe's had a good year last year, but let's be honest, they weren't as good as TCU.
Cincinnati.
And TCU, and now they're adding Cincinnati. It's a great fucking team. So you're gonna be stuck with that for a month, folks. While I'm hanging out with fucking Juan Valdez. All right. So you got that going on. Yes.
From Richard Gerstberger, is Bobby Hurley ultimately going to get the Duke coaching job?
No,
he's too wild.
I think
we've just seen Bob or Dan win the national championship. He's pretty wild.
Yeah, but like Shire is like the perfect Duke coach. Like
I thought he did a great job, actually.
I actually did too. And you know me, I like to shit on Duke and the ACC, but I thought Shire did a good job. I mean, you follow up a legend like that. I thought he did a good job, and they were playing their best ball. They just ran into a bad matchup against Tennessee.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, David's saying we should, and David, summer camp might be for the college basketball experience. It might be a trip for a UConn football game. All right.
There you go.
We've been talking about it, even though I think I might go to Laramie. I'll see what I can do about a trip to the Wrench to get twisted, David. Shout out to David, and all these longtime listeners are fantastic. Any other questions?
Yeah, we've got a few. Who do you think is going to be the best freshman coming in next year? Have you guys paid attention to recruiting much yet?
I've paid attention some.
That comes from Nick Famelot.
I didn't even know freshmen existed anymore.
Yeah, I feel like it's so hard to do now. I will say, well, here, let me quickly pull up the top. I'm going to pull up like the top 50 recruits.
We know how
Kentucky's got a juggernaut of a class.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one. Terrell Furman's already let me know that he's like, dude, I'm trying to remember. I think it was, I want to say it was Justin Edwards, maybe that Terrell was telling me about. That's just, or maybe it's Dillingham. One of those two, he was telling me that was just insane. And he's like, Kentucky's going to be loaded. But the problem is when I look at Kentucky's, got 4 guys in the top 10, according to 24/7 Sports. And is that going to pay off in March? Like we saw Duke have the best recruiting class ever, and it only got them to what? They got to this round of 32. Yeah. Will that pay off? I don't know. They got Wheeler in the portal now. Like he probably needed to hit the portal because that just wasn't working with Calipari. But I don't know. I feel like they got is Toshibe coming back? Maybe, but he's got to work on some things himself.
That was a question in here too from Kyle Cooper, ACC Kyle. Oscar coming back, bounce back year? Question mark.
Sure, the talent is there, but they're so young, man. These 4 guys are gonna. I think in today's day and age college basketball, we've seen now how many tournaments. Like I feel like the last 6 Final Fours have been super fucking experienced teams. UConn was super experienced. San Diego State was like 30 years old. FAU was like, it's young, but young experience, if that makes sense, because the COVID eligibility, it says sophomores, but they're really juniors. So, and then
maybe
you have
Calipari's better with freshmen. Like maybe that's just his deal.
Well, then you have Miami.
Yeah.
No, but Miami was super experienced. But dude, Calipari's team, I want to say in 2020 or 19, when they missed the NCAA tournament, was all freshmen, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Calipari may just be done at Kentucky. I feel like that program's just gone stale. But I
can't fire him with this class coming in.
I know. No, he's unfireable. But I think the key is just being as old as possible. I think that's kind of been a key over these last couple of years. Baylor was really old. Kansas was really old. Now UConn was relatively old, and then all these other teams that advanced in the tournament were old.
It's so funny to see the recruiting rankings. So Isaiah Collier is out of Georgia. He's going to USC. That's the top recruit in the nation, according to 24/7 Sports. If you go to On 3, they have the guy who's number 12 on 24/7 Sports, Cody Williams, going to Colorado as the number 1 recruit in the nation. That's a big fucking difference from 1 to 12. You know what I mean? They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Let's be honest. They're just doing that for clicks. I don't know how you really gauge who the best player in the country is when they're playing at the high school level. Unless it's like flat out like LeBron, where you're just like, oh my God. You know what I mean? I feel like
Zion.
Yeah. But I'm super excited to see. I still think Kentucky will probably make the NCAA tournament, maybe even make like this. I think the furthest you could probably go being that young is like Sweet 16, maybe Elite 8. What do you think about that?
Probably. I think so. I mean, maybe if they get a lucky draw, they get to the Final Four once again, but I don't know. The magic is not there, it seems like, anymore in Kentucky. It's kind of gotten stale. I know he's changed up his staff multiple times over the last couple of years, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem like Kentucky is Kentucky right now again under Calipari.
And I agree with Kyle Cooper, who says, seems like you can build a battle-tested team so much easier now through the portal. That's what I'm saying is like, I mean, look at all 4 Final Four teams. We mentioned 3 guys on UConn that played substantial minutes that were transfers. You look at San Diego State, you know, they have, I think 3 or 4 that are pretty substantial transfers. Bradley was at Cal, Tremel was at Seattle. Lede was at everywhere. And I still think there's another one on that team that was getting minutes that transferred. Then you have Miami, their whole team. I mean, well, you had Nigel Pack, O'Meara, Jordan Miller, all those are transfers. I'm probably even forgetting some there. And then FAU. Well, FAU actually is like kind of the Russian center was a Texas Tech transfer, but I feel like some of that was also their actual scouting department. FAU, like, shout out to FAU. Okay. Next question.
Mid-major to make noise next year that is not Florida Atlantic.
Ooh. Got to see what happens in the portal because, I mean, like an Oral Roberts would have been a candidate with Max Asmus, but he's gone. So
I mean, I just hit on 3 guys returning for New Mexico. I think that's key.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah,
Richard Pitino still has to prove to me that he's a good coach because he certainly didn't at Minnesota, or they kind of faded down the stretch here at New Mexico this year. I know some of that was injury related, but that's one that would jump out to me. Who else? I mean, I would think so. You got Odom left Utah State, so I would not say Utah State. I'm trying to think of the best mid-major conferences. The CUSA is now the AAC essentially.
What about Odom at VCU?
It depends who. If they lost, I mean, everyone hit the portal. So I that's a question mark to me. I need to see the roster.
I think that more guys are going to come back than people think. Because it's kind of they got a good culture there.
I texted Mac. I was like, if I was a D1 talent in college and I went through the whole transfer process, I'd want to dip my toe in, get all the gear, and then make my decision after I make all these trips to campus too,
He wants to be stroked.
Austin,
that's what all these kids want to do.
Rob Donaldson flexing Austin P potentially in the OVC. Well, someone's got to win that thing, and they did bring in some guys from Northwestern State. I think they brought in a guy from the AE too, right?
Yeah. If you want a real dark horse, Radford. Let's go.
Yeah.
I think
they've been good with the transfers.
I think the good answer. I think New Mexico is a good answer because they had it this year. They started off 17-0, and they bring back a lot of the pieces from that squad. They have to make like the foundations, in my opinion.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if UAB. I know Jelly Walker leaves, but he's super aggressive in the portal. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kennedy landed some big names. I don't know. Besides Gonzaga and stuff, I'm trying to think of like who could another mid-major be that
Liberty.
I mean, Dayton's probably going to have guys that leave the portal. Liberty could. I mean, but they lose what's his name?
Yeah. I'd say Kennesaw was good, but they lose Raheem, and then they lose those guards as well.
That's a wild one right there.
Maybe Asheville.
I think South Florida could also, man. I think South Florida because I think multiple guys from Kennesaw are going to join them there. So, how
much does Charleston lose?
They lose some guards, but I mean Charleston's a destination too. Like if you're like a 5th year guy coming from another mid major, that's a great place to play your 5th year.
Yeah, D Merrick
Larson. It was Larson.
D Merrick, good. Get him out of here. D Merrick, are you guys gonna do an NBA or baseball now that college basketball done? Because I only watch you guys, not that other group of guys. We are gonna do. We talk college football, college baseball, college basketball, man, and we're gonna be talking all of that year round, pretty much. You know, even the Frozen Four will have some short clips, I think, from Noah Beanick, perhaps. But yeah, so like we already talk. I mean, it's gonna be college football, like 5 episodes this week, 5 episodes next week, and then we're still doing some college basketball content, college baseball content. And then I'm gonna go to South America for a month, and probably give you 1 episode a week. But Mac will be firing away, talking Big 12. We're gonna do a month of Big 12 basketball.
No doubt.
That's a good answer right there.
Did Trezarian White leave? Is he still there?
I think so.
He's still there.
I think so. Dustin Wiese with Wilmington.
Yeah, I like that. Hofstra. Yeah.
You mentioned Hofstra too.
Wasn't Hofstra? Didn't they lose Estrada? Am I crazy? Is Estrada gone?
No, I think Estrada had 1 more year.
Okay.
But he hasn't. I'm sure he'll transfer. Now that Max Asmus is out, the Tommies are going to win the Summit.
Oh, I like that. No, didn't their best player hit the portal?
Oh, they'll reload. They always reload.
Yeah,
they're the Tommies. Shoenecker.
Yeah.
We're back at the point where we're finding our darlings in November. The 19-1 dogs. Maine.
My season tickets next year. They're going to come through.
Denver. How's Denver going to be next year? No,
I have no idea, dude.
Well, Drake was super experienced, and they're gone, right?
Yeah, they lose.
Bradley will probably. Bradley's a good answer. I think Bradley is not. I think Drake was the more senior-ridden team than Bradley. I'm going off memory from a month ago, but I believe Bradley might be. If they keep their team intact, which who knows with the portal. But yeah, I'd say
so. Drake started 4 seniors and Tucker DeVries. Is he off to the NBA?
Isn't he?
I don't think he's going to get drafted. DeVries.
Yeah.
And hey, you know who could be good? Loyola.
Chicago?
No, Marymount.
Oh yeah, but they lose. They lose Cam Shelton.
Oh, I thought Shelton had 1 more year. Correct? Well, they got LePepe. It's culture play.
Yeah. So look, I'm pulling up Bradley's starting 5 right now. Now, this
from TV DBJ, Merrimack wins the NEC.
They can finally go to the fucking NCAA tournament too, right?
Yeah, fair day.
So their top 2 scorers for Bradley should be able to be back. Their 3rd scorer is gone, and their 4th scorer should be back. I mean, but who knows if they hit the portal and end up at Butler or something. So they return a lot. They're starting 5. 4 out of their 5 could return. Now, who knows if that happens? Bradley Braves, maybe one we consider. What about in the A-10? It's got to be Dayton. Dayton has been recruiting very well. Can they ever put it together?
What do you think that issue more is?
The problem is
or?
they got I can't kill Dayton because they had a dream team in 2020, which is just a couple years ago. I mean, we talked about
going to be a 1 seed.
Yeah, they had the best player in college basketball a year with Obi Toppin. So I don't know. I think that they could put it together again. What about Fordham, man?
Yeah, Fordham Rams. Quisenberry's gone, though. Quisenberry's gone. Quisenberry's gone. Greg Kalish, shout out to Greg. This is why I love TCE. Championship game, 90 minutes over, and 1 a.m. and breaking down Bradley Brave basketball. There we go, folks. Folks, subscribe to the college basketball experience.
It's super on brand. Super on brand.
Okay.
Who's the way too early Courtney Love team for next season? We had North Carolina this year. Who is it? Great question from Nick Catini.
Oh, this is good. Shout out to Nick.
Who's everybody going to love?
It could be North Carolina next year too, but
it could be again.
Could be UConn.
No, I think
everybody's going to love them, and they're bringing everybody back.
Could it be Duke? Year 2 of John Shira. We saw what happened. Year 2, Hubert Davis after the
recruiting
legend.
class.
Yeah, hold on. I think
it could be Kentucky.
Hold on.
It's probably Kentucky.
Answer.
Maybe UCLA.
Yeah,
I'm doing some research here.
Alabama's a good one, Rob.
Yeah, Alabama's a great one.
The karma hits him here. Wrong place.
Alabama's
wrong
a great answer. Yeah. Arizona.
Yeah.
I mean, Krisha is leaving, or Krisha, whatever the fuck, however you pronounce it. Yeah, I mean, Kriza.
We haven't seen Gonzaga play without Timmy since Adam Morrison was there. So, I mean, that's going to be a transition.
They should get Max Asmus. They should get Max Asmus.
You know who I saw recruiting Max Asmus on Twitter tonight was Marquise Noel at K-State.
I thought he was off to the NBA.
No, he was saying he should replace him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect. They're regional too.
And
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be fucking amazing. I was surprised to see his high school teammate hit the portal. Mossad hit the portal.
Yeah.
For K-State. Why? He just hit a game winner to get to the Elite Eight. What are you doing?
40 feet.
Unless you're going to Rick Pitino because you're from New York City. That's the only thing I can think of. So you're sitting there, you're sick of Manhattan, Kansas. You've been through all the scattered ass, and you just say, "Hey, I want to go back home to New York City."
What's St. John's win the national championship next year? What's that long shot?
Oh, I can't wait to watch them I cannot wait to watch them at the Garden or in Queen, wherever the fuck. Yeah.
Can I ask you about Kansas? They lose Grady Dick and Jalen Wilson. They're going to have somewhat of a freshman class coming in, but
they're going to get Hunter Dickinson probably.
We got to see how they do in the portal, but
they'll probably get LJ Cryer. I mean, we saw with McCuller. Kansas will be in the top 10 next year. We just saw them lose Abaji and Braun, and then it was like, oh wow, Wilson and Braun.
That's why I think they might be a little. That's why I think they might be a little bit overhyped. Everybody puts their chips all in again with Bill Self.
We got to answer these questions in like August though, when we know what the rosters will look like. It's a completely really. I mean, honestly, like as of like 10 days ago, there was 1,200 people in the portal. I'm guessing it's like at 1,500 now because that was before Asmus, before Dickinson, before Cryer. So you were kind of just having fun here with it, but folks, Hunter Dickinson to Wyoming. Let's go.
One last portal nugget. I'll be in Morgantown the same weekend. John Hughley's in Morgantown.
That is fucking disgusting, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Eat shit pit one last time, baby. Let's go.
Shots.
Hold on, I gotta find it. I fucked up this whole soundboard.
To be honest,
I'll just say this:
you disloyal fool ass bitch made punk.
It's from Training Day, Denzel and Training Day. But I don't know where my gun went, but come on, you cannot go. The one school you can't transfer to is West Virginia.
Well, hey,
fucking disgusting.
We said you can't transfer in the league. We're not in the same league.
Pitt doesn't have any rivals in the ACC.
Well, they got to beat us for a damn change and make this a rivalry again.
If he goes to West Virginia, I expect more 1-star reviews because I will be playing that sound drop every fucking time they play. All right.
He wants to win the brawl for a change.
There you go. Talk your shit, buddy. All right.
Yeah.
Yes. Folks. Yeah. John Hughley, look, you're a good basketball player and you're looking for a better opportunity. Just be a solid human being and don't go to the rival. Don't go to the rival. And because basically you'd be doing this here. And I can't find this here, but,
I'll show him an
You're
NIL
nothing
package,
but a
baby.
chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
Folks, we appreciate you rocking with us all year. I'm going to say thank you, but at the same time, it ain't stopping. All right. We don't stop. This is my fucking life. All right. We talk about it nonstop. College basketball, college football, college baseball. Subscribe. We're on together. The college basketball experience, the college baseball experience, the college football experience, all on separate feeds. Subscribe. We come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. We are part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. I got a big thing for the Masters this upcoming weekend. I'll be back tomorrow talking college football. All right. Me and Mac will be back talking college basketball. He's also going to have a show in a couple months that we're going to have to promote very, very strongly. So he'll have his own shit that he's doing, but he also has the Ryan and Rush Show, the NFL Gambling Podcast. Noah Beanick's always behind the scenes, zapping roaches and rats, in the chat. And he's the host of the College Baseball Experience. So check that out. And yeah, that season's just starting. All right. So we appreciate you guys. Get the SGPN app. What a great season. Congrats to the UConn Huskies. Shout out to David and all the other UConn fans out there. Be sure to not drink responsibly tonight. Folks, this is the College Basketball Experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot. And the whole team's looking at the whole world's looking with the gamblers. Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot. And you know what to get.